Hi there, my name is Sandra and welcome to my channel. I've created a print and cut from a PNG that I have designed, but I also know this isn't the size that I actually made it, and I need to select this, go over here and make this 16.8. Now this particular design I have done in a couple of different ways. I've made it so that it's possible, as in here, to do a print and cut with it. But I've also made it into a multi-colour vinyl file so that you can layer the vinyl. It's got marks on it so that you can line up your vinyl layers and you can then do whatever you want to it. Now remember, if you use it and you're going to be doing traditional heat transfer vinyl for a t-shirt, then you do need to reverse it because it's got text in it. But some vinyls these days are direct to garment basically, and you don't have to reverse it. So it depends on what you're using. So I can send this design now, all your artwork, yeah, and send. And I get my 2 pages here, my print artwork and my cutting contours. So all I've got to do is print it and cut it out. Imported my base card file because I'm making this into a card, and when I import an SVG it does resize it in Leonardo, so I make a note of the size that I actually wanted it, the size that I actually designed it in the first place, and then I resize it by selecting it and going to the properties and putting the size in this box here. Now you might think this is just a straightforward rectangle. It isn't quite. If you look here, there are a couple of indents on either side. This is because at the moment Leonardo does not have a score function. It doesn't have a score tool, and I really don't like to use a blade for doing cards. You can, because you can put it on a very, very light pressure, but I don't like to do it. So I will manually score it. But if I put these little indents, I know exactly where my score mark has to go, and it makes it easier for me to do that. The first thing I'm going to do with this card is do my centre score line using a nail dotting tool. Now, as it happens, I have a silicone mat on my glass mat here. That provides a little bit of cushioning and it does aid with scoring. I'm going to be putting this cutout in here, but I'm not going to just put it straight on here. I'm going to make it into a pop-up. This is really the cheats way, is to use basically straps. I have 2 strips of card. I have folded the top part of it down the same amount for both, pretty much. I could have measured it, I didn't, I just eyeballed it. I think it's close enough. So now you want to fold them into quarters. So what you need to do then is just to glue them so they become box shapes. I've stuck it onto the back there, and what I want to do is put that up like that, and to stick this near the top of my card, like that. I've got mine stuck in now. As you can see, it has a lot of dimension. Pull it up and you can get it to rise above the top of the card like that. If you just open it straight up, it's still going to have a lot of dimension. It just won't be above. Now, the amount of dimension you have on here is dependent on the size of your paper strip. I've got a very large one there. Really, for demonstration purposes, it's easier to see how it functions like that. Obviously, the stiffer your card is, the more bulky it's going to be, as well as the higher the level of support. This card is a relatively thin 200 GSM, but it gives you a nice option of adding dimension to the inside of your card without struggling to do a complicated pop-up. Now, in order to really make this card pop, I'm going to go in with some glittery pens. For the front of it, I would just go for a very simple sentiment, such as wishing you a, and then you get the Happy New Year bit inside. I've used a Sakura Jelly Roll Stardust pen to add some shimmer and shine to this. The clear one will work over any colour though it's already printed and just give you a bit of extra sparkle, so it's really economical just to buy that one colour, or lack of colour I should say, because it's clear. As I think I mentioned earlier in the video, I've created the file as a layered vinyl cut as well. You can get the file in the link down below to the Dropbox. If you've enjoyed this video, or if you want more projects and more cutting hints and tips, then consider subscribing to my channels, Createinspain or Siser Juliet Beginners to Pro. Both those channels, by the way, have Facebook groups of the same name, so you can find me on there too. Thanks for watching. Take care now. Bye bye.